It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to get things started on the Bible show tonight with your hosts, Buddy and Jenny.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Bible show. Last night, our special guest, Shem, told us about Joseph and how God blessed him with several spiritual fruits that he used to better his life and the lives of those around him, including Pharaoh.
I keep trying to tell you, these are super fruits.
Well, Jenny, yeah, I think they are super fruits. Hey, did we just go to commercial?
I think so.
Hey, all this talk of fruits and everything, I'm getting kind of hungry.
Me too.
You want to go see if the refreshment lady might have something ready already for us to eat?
Yeah, let's go. I mean, the director's not even paying attention.
Maybe some of these guys got. You got any snacks?
We're starting.
You got snacks over here?
Come on.
You got snacks? Oh, you don't have. Hey, you got snacks? Refreshments? Anything? No snacks? You got snacks?
Whoa.
No snacks?
Cut.
What?
But where are y'all going?
We're on commercial break, right?
No. This is a live show.
What?
That
We're
means
still on?
we have
We're on air?
live audience.
We're
We
not
don't
on commercial?
take commercial breaks
Oh,
on
wow.
this particular station.
My bad.
Okay, so where were we? Oh, yeah. Tonight, Shem is back with us again to talk about one of his excursions on the high seas after leaving Egypt.
That's right, specifically with a talking whale.
Wait, a talking whale? That sounds a little fishy to me.
I'm sure he's just stressed out.
What? What do whales even get stressed out about?
Current events.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see for ourselves. Let's bring Shem out.
Welcome back, she with an M. So I think most of us know the story of Jonah. How he didn't do what God told him to do and was swallowed by a whale. Now I understand that this whale was a friend of yours. Is that true?
Sure is. I've known him for a long time, ever since I sailed on the ark with Pop.
Well, tell me something, Shem. Can you speak whale?
Yes, Mr. Buddy, I can speak a little bit, but not fluently enough to orchestrate complete sentences.
So tell us, Mr. Shem, why did Mr. Whale swallow Jonah?
The Lord told him to.
Do you mean, Shem, that God actually spoke to Mr. Whale and told him to swallow Jonah?
Of course. The Lord had everything planned out from the beginning. Mr. Whale told me that the Lord spoke to him and said that he had a job to do. That there was going to be a fellow named Jonah that was going to need his help. He said there was going to be a great storm on the sea and Jonah would be thrown overboard and Mr. Whale had to be there to save his life. Mr. Whale told me, said that the Lord told him everything he needed to know, except for one small detail. He forgot to tell Mr. Whale that he was going to have to swallow Jonah. Don't think Mr. Whale liked that too much. But anyway, he did what the Lord told him to do.
That is quite a story. So tell us, did you know Jonah personally?
No, Miss Jenny, I didn't. Not until he booked passage on our ship.
Wait, hold on a second. You mean to tell us that
Sure was.
Well, why would you do such a thing?
Jonah told us to. He said that was the only way to stop the storm.
And you believed him?
No, Miss Jenny, not at first. We tried everything in our power to make our way in that storm. We raised sail. We lowered sail. We even threw all the cargo we had overboard to lighten the ship. Nothing worked. The storm just got worse.
So then what happened?
We threw Jonah overboard. Yes, ma'am, it sure did. As soon as he hit the water, that raging wind calmed to a gentle breeze. The seas smoothed out, and those black clouds and rain storm just cleared up, and we had a nice blue sky.
So what happened next?
Well, we turned around and headed to Joppa. Well, me and my shipmates, we were all mighty sad, downhearted about what we had done, throwing Jonah overboard and all. That was one of the worst trips I ever made. As we got closer to Joppa, we looked out across the sea and we saw Mr. Whale floating out there. And he was coughing and sputtering, having a hard time with that. He swam up beside the boat and asked us if we had any fresh water on board. We said yes and gave him a long drink. And after he looked like he was feeling a little better, we asked him what was wrong. And that's when he told us the rest of the story.
You mean there's more to the story?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Whale told us that after he swallowed Jonah, he was carrying him back toward Joppa. And then Jonah prayed every inch of the way, asking the Lord about what his situation was going to be. Anyway, Mr. Whale got to dry land and vomited him up, and Jonah was safe and sound. You can imagine how surprised and happy we were to hear that Jonah was alive and well.
Well, that's wonderful to hear that he was alive. But that doesn't explain why you were talking to a whale.
Yes, it does, Miss Jenny. You just weren't listening close enough. You know, the Lord had us, my ship and shipmates, to carry Jonah to a place where the Lord could get his attention and remind him of who was in charge. Then we did our part. We threw him overboard into the sea and into the hands of the Lord. Well, that made us afraid and sad. So that's when Mr. Whale told us his part of the story. You see, the Lord didn't want us going through life feeling sorry for what we did. So he had Mr. Whale tell us that Jonah was alive and on his way to preach to them folks at Nineveh.
Oh, I see now. The Lord had a plan to save Nineveh from the beginning. And all of you, your shipmates, Mr. Whale, and even Jonah used fruits of the Spirit to help each other get the job done.
That's right, Mr. Buddy. Love, long-suffering, meekness, and faith, they'll work every time.
Indeed they will. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. It seems like with each new story that Shem tells us, we see more and more evidence of these spiritual fruits.
See, I told you they're super. Hopefully you'll be flying around tomorrow night, because we've got a story that'll make you roar with amazement. Until then, good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Bible Show.